Andy Katz here for FoxSports.com with my latest tiers, looking at the best big men in college basketball. We kind of have a little bit of a renaissance of the traditional big in the college game. I know that's not happening in the NBA, but in college basketball, the bigs are back. Tier 1, Zach Edey. What was his best big man moment? Well, 32-17 against Michigan State. Trace Jackson Davis of Indiana. Best big man moment? Probably when he scored 35 and grabbed 9 in a win at Illinois. Drew Timme from Gonzaga scored 29 and grabbed 10 in that win over Alabama down in Birmingham. Armando Bacot from North Carolina. He's had plenty this season. He scored 28 and grabbed 15 boards in that overtime win against Ohio State in Madison Square Garden back in December. And completing my tier 1, Oscar Tshiebwe from Kentucky. Had some injuries, but he's come back playing very well. Scored 37 and grabbed 24 boards in a win over Georgia. All right, tier 2, Azuolas Tubelis from Arizona. He's a traditional big. Sometimes he can play inside, play out. But how about back in that Maui final against Cincinnati? Maui tournament against Cincinnati. He had 30 and 11 in that first game against the Bearcats. Omar Ballo, his teammate. Wow. In that same tournament, Maui against Creighton, 30 and 13. So 2 Arizona bigs in tier 2. Adama Sanogo, he was the preseason Big East Player of the Year from UConn. Led the Huskies to a big win over Alabama and Portland. Scored 25. Hunter Dickinson from Michigan, really stepping up right now for the Wolverines, but I think back to when he had 32 and 12 against Maryland. And Ryan Kalbrenner, he's had some injuries for Creighton, but now he's back, and he was huge, 21 and 7 in that win over Providence. All right, tier 3, Kyle Filipkowski from Duke. Wasn't supposed to be the best big at Duke, but he has been. Scored 28 and 15 against Pitt. Brendan Carlson from Utah, significant big for the Utes, 22 against Arizona. Cliff Amore from Rutgers. How about when he had 14, 11, and blocked 6 shots in a win over Ohio State in overtime? Zach Fremantle from Xavier, playing alongside Jack Nunge, but Fremantle scored 29-11 against Villanova. And Deron Holmes II from Dayton, 32 and 10 in a win over Davidson. All right, tier 4, Noah Clowney from Alabama, the freshman, 17 and 14 in a road win at Missouri. He's paired very well with Brandon Miller. Morris Udeze from New Mexico. Look, putting up significant numbers playing with Jalen House and Jamal Mashburn Jr. He had the winning bucket in that 81-79 overtime win over Boise State. Had 15 in that game, but the winning bucket there on an inbounds play. Stephen Crowell from Wisconsin. Love what he's done. Sort of undervalued, underappreciated nationally. 21 and 11 in a win over Penn State. Hunter Dyson from Clemson. Now, maybe not traditional big, but he's a forward. We're putting him on the list. 31 and 13 in a win over NC State. And Jarris Walker from Houston, the freshman, 17, 7 boards in that road win at Virginia. All right, tier 5, DeAndre Williams from Memphis. Love what he did throughout the course of the season, but also against Auburn. I know he fouled out, but that was an important win for them, 16 and 11. How about Colin Castleton from Florida? Came back to play for Todd Golden. He had 16, 13, 3 steals, 2 blocks in a win over Missouri that they needed. Liam Robbins from Vanderbilt, the Minnesota transfer, is finally healthy, playing very well in the SEC for Vandy. 22, 7 boards, 6 blocks in an overtime win against South Carolina. Brandon Johns Jr. from VCU, the Michigan transfer, 18 and 9 in a win over Pitt way back in Brooklyn. That could be a shelf life win for the Rams. And finally, Jesse Edwards from Syracuse. We don't know if they're a postseason team, but he has been consistent for the Orange, 22 and 16 in a win at Notre Dame. So those are my 5 tiers of the best bigs in men's college basketball.